The Lunaverse. Concept created by Rainbow Double Dash. Episode 1. Longest Day, Longest Night. Shot by Rainbow Double Dash. Chapter 1. Arrival in Ponyville. Lulamoon. The blue unicorn glared at Lyra Heartstrings. Trixie! She ordered in a tone normally reserved for informing ponies that their loved ones had met horrible ends, and the one enjoyed relaying this fact immensely. Lyra blinked a few times at the intensity. I'm sorry. The mid-green unicorn apologized. It's just that Princess Luna said Trixie was a nickname, and I didn't think I knew you well enough. The other unicorn stared across the wagging cabin at Lyra for a few moments, before sighing. My given name is Trixie Lulamoon. I'm from New Orleans, and the tradition there is to use a pony's second name if they have one. But I hate Lulamoon, so call me Trixie. Lyra raised an eyebrow. What's wrong with Lulamoon? I hate it. I gathered. But I mean, what's actually wrong with it? The blue unicorn turned her head down, staring at the large cabin's floor. The two had left Canterlot half an hour ago, but the train ride still had about another hour and a half before it reached their destination of Ponyville. So far, the cabin had only been just about enjoyable part of the train ride. It had been first class, so the two unicorns had as much space as they wanted to themselves. The cabin was, in fact, almost as large as the apartment that Lyra had been staying in for the past several years while living in Canterlot and attending Luna's School of Magic. Lyra realized, after several minutes of waiting, that Trixie wasn't going to respond to her question. The unicorn let out a sigh as she looked over the train's window. As the train sped by Equestria, the entire landscape was blanketed in glistening white snow, the aftermath of a nationwide storm that the weather ponies had insisted was necessary. It gave the land a serene, inspiring appearance, and as long as Lyra sat in the heated train car, she could appreciate the winter wonderland thoroughly. It was enough to make her forget about the grumpy pony sitting across from her and hum out a nice tune. Trixie's head shot up at the melody. What are you doing? She demanded. Lyra glanced at Trixie. Humming, she answered. No, that tune, Trixie clarified, one eye narrowing as she leaned forward. That was Skipped My Lou you were humming. No, it wasn't, Lyra responded, then considered the absent-minded song. Was it? I don't know. I was thinking... Now, however, she was, quite suddenly, a full-toothed grin split her features when lightning strikes. Oh, stars above, that's why you hate Lulamoon, the mid-green unicorn realized. No, it isn't! Trixie insisted, though her whining eyes suggested the opposite. Lulu, skip to my Lou, Lyra sang, leaning forward. Lulu, skip to my Lou, flies in the bar like shoe that flies shoe. I'll turn you into a newt, Trixie threatened, pointing a hoof at Lyra, even as the unicorn continued to sing. Every day when I was a filly, I had to hear ponies singing that song whenever my name was mentioned, and I seriously will turn you into a newt if you do not stop! Lyra did stop, but only because her laughter was interrupting the song too much. Every time? She asked between giggles. Every time, Trixie insisted. I don't know, some ponies thought it was funny, or maybe it was funny, but it got old real fast. Her gaze turned to a golden object sitting next to Lyra. Why not put that thing to use? Lyra's horn glowed, and a glowing aura of magic wrapped around her lyre as it levitated over to in front of her. The unicorn shifted its sitting position on the train seat, into one that most ponies thought looked incredibly uncomfortable. But Lyra never minded herself. Back resting against the cushion wall, hind wings and hind legs hanging over the seat's ends. One of Trixie's eyebrows rose sharply at the sight, and managed to ascend even further as Lyra placed her hooves on either side of her Lyra. "You're going to play with your hooves?" Better with hooves than my magic," Lyra responded matter-of-factly. Trixie blinked a few times at the statement, finding it exceedingly difficult to believe. After a moment, however, she settled down onto her stomach on the seat. "Fine," the unicorn decided, waving a hoof imperiously. "Play on, maestro." My little pony, ah, my little pony. Friendship never meant that much to me, my little pony. But you're all here and now I can see. Stormy weather, lots to share, a musical bond, left loving care. Teaching laughter is an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. You have my little ponies. How did I ever make so many true friends? And here we are, Lyra proclaimed as the two stepped from the train and into the cool, crisp morning air. Trixie grateful for the enchantment woven into her cape that would keep her warm despite the thin material it was made. Ponyville. Trixie pulled back her hat's brim, giving what she could see of the town once over. Unlike Canterlot, Mayhem, or most of the great cities of Equestria, Ponyville didn't appear to have a single building over 5 stories tall. What the settlement lacked in vertical height, however, it made up for with horizontal spread. In terms of land area, Ponyville was one of the largest communities in the realm, though its population kept it firmly in the large town category and out of the small city one. Trixie broke from her reverie long enough to see to it that her luggage and Lyra's own were delivered to their respective destinations by a quartet of Earth Pony porters that had accompanied them from Canterlot. She took the time to pass them each a couple of silver bits apiece as a gratuity, and to ensure that the best care was given to their belongings. She quickly, afterwards, plunged into her own thoughts. However, as she considered the task that lay before her, the responsibility that she had, through a combination of reasoning, pleading, whining, and maybe a little blanket blackmail, finally been able to wrest from Princess Luna. No, Ponyville was not a large city like Manhattan, Stalingrad, or her hometown of New Orleans. But that was what made it ideal for her to finally put everything she was learning from Luna to practical use. So, Lyra interrupted after growing uncomfortable with Trixie's silence. Where to first? The apples? The weather team? Introducing yourself to the mayor? Trixie glanced at her mint-colored companion, currently wearing a warm-looking wool winter coat and a gray Gatsby cap, somehow fitting the latter rather snugly over her horn without making the style look uncomfortable. You're eager. No offense, but I want to get this whole escort job over and done with, Lyra responded. Trixie grimaced at Lyra's subtle but clear reminder that the two were not friends, merely acquaintances. How much is Princess Luna paying you? She asked. Lyra named a figure, large and round. Trixie's eyes widened, causing Lyra to smirk. Yeah, that was my reaction, she said as she pulled the brim of her Gatsby cap over her eyes in a sign of mock embarrassment. Trixie looked away, her thoughts turning inwards to what the conversation must have been like, or at least how she imagined it in her mind's eye. You! Princess Luna, tall and wrinkled-looking as ever, said as she pointed to Lyra. We are investing in our student, a measure of responsibility for our change, and making her our representative to Ponyville, and you are from Ponyville. So, we ask you that you serve as her escort for a few days while she settles. It's not like you have anything else to do, since you are a musician, and you do not have a real job. Oh no! Lyra responded. You want me to deal with Trixie Lulamoon, my Lulamoon? Nobody likes her. I've never met her personally, and I would like to continue that lucky streak. You're right! Luna exclaimed. Especially after the Ice Palace incident. No pony likes Trixie. Leave off paying you an exorbitant amount of bits to do so! And then the princess named a number. Lyra considered. Maybe if you throw its land, she suggested, in a title. Feistering Lyra has a nice ring to it. Trixie! Lyra interrupted her fellow unicorn. Trixie blinked a few times, and saw that she had nearly walked face first into a lamppost, and had been stopped only by Lyra's outstretched hoof. The blue unicorn shook her head to clear it. Sorry, I was just thinking about stuff. Stuff? Lyra asked. Stuff, Trixie confirmed. In junk. Lyra was silent for several moments at the playfully obvious evasion to her concern, before letting out a sigh. Whatever, she said. So, where to first? Trixie considered, looking up to the sky as she did so. For the position of the sun, it looked to be about 11 o'clock. Wherever they went, they had to hurry if they wanted to avoid being caught outside during midday. A rumbling stomach quickly decided Trixie's decision. The Apple Trust, she decided with a nod. Lyra nodded, turning towards the street and beginning to trot off, her charge in tow. As they walked, Trixie considered the ponies around her. Some gave her an odd look at her choice of clothing. A purple star-studded cape and a wizard's hat, but mostly she reserved only a few polite nods or the occasional greeting. It was a welcome change from the reputation she had managed to build for herself in Canterlot over the few years, where the best she could usually hope for was an indifferent stare. And those she hadn't received all over the past few weeks, ever since the Ice Palace. No! Trixie insisted, forcing herself to forget about that night. The ice turned water getting everywhere, and the absolutely livid look in Princess Luna's eyes. No, you're not going to think like that. For a start, Trixie. For a start. Lyra, I'm going to ask you something, and I want you to be honest. Yeah? Are you lost? Lyra's silence to Trixie's inquiry was answer enough. The blue unicorn let out a long sigh as her companion stopped at a fork in the road, considering as she rubbed the back of her head with one hoof. I thought you grew up in Ponyville, Trixie accused. I did, but I never really went out to the apples, Lyra responded as she looked around. Ponyville was to the east of them, still visible over the rolling snow-covered hills. But the sight of the Apple Trust's first and largest farm was somehow evading them. If they came into town, no need to go to the farm. So you're lost, Trixie surmised. Lyra glared at her charge for a moment. No, she said firmly, pointing a hoof down the right path. It's that way. She began trying off, determined spring in her steps. With a sigh, Trixie followed, glancing nervously at the sky as she did. It's about midday, she noted. I know, Lyra responded gruffly, glancing over her shoulder a moment before returning her attention to the road ahead. It's just a superstition. It's not like Corona is going to fly down and immobilize us just for being outside. Trixie shivered slightly, nonetheless, and not from the cold. As the two trotted next to a white fence that separated the road from an empty farmer's field, a field notably lacking apples of any kind. Despite Lyra's words, she picked up the pace just as much as Trixie did, and each cast nervous glances to the sky as the sun continued its inordinable climb overhead. At a guess, they had maybe 10 minutes, at most, before the sun reached its zenith. Should have got to my new home first, Trixie muttered to herself. I knew it was too close to midday to head out, she glared at Lyra. Or would you have gotten lost on the way there as well? I'm not lost, Lyra insisted. So where's Sweet Apple Acres, then? There should be signs. I mean, there were signs all over the place back before I got to Canterlot. I don't know what happened to them. Lyra glared at Trixie. But I'm not lost, she glanced ahead. Uh-huh. and I can prove it. Ahead, Trixie and Lyra spotted a gold-coated, orange-maned earth pony trotting with nearly as much speed as the two unicorns were. She was wearing a wide-brimmed sun hat and saddlebags laden with groceries, and was just beginning to open the gate in the white fence that they had been trotting beside when she spotted him. "Oh my!" she exclaimed on seeing the two unicorns. An odd look of hopelessness came over her features. "What are you two feelings doing out there at this time of day?" "Getting increasingly lost," Trixie answered, glancing once more at the sun. At this point, it was close enough to midday that no one could argue the point. Trixie tried to remember the last time she had been outside when the sun was at its zenith, but couldn't for the life of her remember. No pony stayed outside during the midday without an extremely good reason. "We're not lost," Lyra insisted. She pointed down the dirt path. "It's that way to Sweet Apple Acres, right?" The earth pony's hopefulness faded away at Lyra's question, replaced by a sort of resignation. Yes," she responded. "Just keep going straight down that way for about 2 miles. You can't miss it." "Ah!" Lyra exclaimed, turning to Trixie and sticking out her tongue. Trixie ignored her as she tipped her wizard's cap. "Thank you," she responded, consciously doing nothing to hide her nervousness. She turned to Lyra. "Come on. At full gallop, we could probably be there in a few minutes." The orange earth pony bit her lip at Trixie's obvious distress. It didn't seem to miss Lyra's own, despite the mint green unicorns working to hide it. "Hold on," she insisted. "Is it really important that you get to where you're going that quickly?" Trixie pointed a hoof straight up. "It is if we do not want to be outside in this," she responded. "Is that all?" she asked. At a confirming nod from Trixie, she pointed down the path that led to her house. "You can come inside if you like. I was just about to make myself some nuts." "Oh no, we wouldn't want to impose," Trixie lied. For herself at least. "No, I insist," the earth pony said, trotting behind Trixie and Lyra and shooting them towards her house, a rustic cottage about 100 feet from the fence. Trixie put up only a small show of resisting before the three of them crossed the distance from the fence to the earth pony's front door and made their way inside. Trixie did not hide her very real sigh of relief as she got down from under the sun's rays and was, instead, safely enclosed by the 4 walls in a sturdy hoof. The house inside was simple and plainly decorated, looking like it was contained in more than like a little living room, kitchen, and a few bedrooms, without so much as a second story. "Thank you," Trixie said as she turned to the earth pony, who had taken the 2 unicorns in. Yes, Trixie had subtly influenced her towards the decision with a few well-chosen words set in the right tone of voice. But that didn't mean she couldn't be grateful about it. Her new acquaintance shook her orange tresses. "No need," she responded as she slid her saddlebags off of her, taking them in her mouth and bringing them to her kitchen. With her bags no longer in the way, Trixie could see her cutie mark. A trio of healthy-looking, green-stalked carrots. And after setting them down, she turned back to Trixie and Lyra. "My name is Carrot Top, incidentally." "Lyra Heartstrings," the mint unicorn said as she used her magic to slide off her gaspy cap and wool coat. She used the levitating cap to point to Trixie. "And this is Trixie Yes! Trixie!" The other unicorn interrupted with an angry glare toward her companion before turning back to Carrot Top. "I'm Ponyville's new representative from the Night Court of Luna." Trixie tried to keep the pride from her voice at that statement. She tried. She did not succeed, but she didn't feel particularly bad about that either. Carrot Top's eyes widened at the little proclamation. "Oh my!" she exclaimed, trotting up to Trixie and giving a slight bow. "So, would that be Lady Trixie, or Countess, or Vicerine, or—" Trixie shook her head, trying to hide her enjoyment at the bow. "Just Trixie, or Representative Trixie, I suppose, and not a noble." Carrot Top seemed to be simultaneously surprised that the princess would appoint a commoner to the position of Ponyville representative, and comforted by the thought that Ponyville's new representative would be a mayor of the people. From what Trixie understood, the previous holder, Blue Blood something or something Blue Blood, Trixie hadn't bothered to remember, had kept his noble person distant from the ponies of Ponyville prior to his retirement from office just a few weeks ago. Anyway, Myra interrupted, we don't want to impose. We'll just wait out midday here and be on our way. To the apples, Carrot Top added, her voice once more losing a bit of her joy. She looked at Trixie. So, this is probably about the longest night festival, isn't it? Trixie nodded at the mention of the celebration of winter solstice, coming up in just 2 days. Yes, she confirmed. I've been appointed as the official overseer of the festival. The apples are overseeing the food stalls, I'm given to understand. She looked out at a window, at the empty snow-covered fields surrounding the house. So, you're a carrot farmer, I take it? Given the pony's name and cutie mark, it was hardly a surprise when she nodded in affirmation. What have you got planned? The farmer blinked a few times at Trixie's question. I'm sorry, she asked. For the festival, Trixie continued, or is it some kind of surprise? The Golden Earth pony's eyes continued to flutter in confusion for a few moments. Well, I don't have any plans, she said, as though the answer would have been obvious. The apples are overseeing the food stalls. Now it was Trixie's turn to be confused. Well, yes, because the trust is experienced with coordinating large numbers of ponies, she said. But you don't want to miss a sales opportunity like the longest night, do you? Trixie? Myra asked, stepping next to the blue unicorn. That's not how it works in Ponyville. At least, not with the big-time festivals in fall, winter, and spring. The apples run all the food stalls. Why? That's just how it is, Representative, Carrot Top said, shrugging a little. It might have something to do with the apples being the founding members of founding family of Ponyville. There are other farms, and we get to set up stalls during any of the minor celebrations, but not during the longest night, the evening time, or the inner gathering. Trixie considered that. More specifically, she considered the thought of having only apples to eat in 2 days' time. Apple fritters, apple pies, apple juice, caramel apple, candy apple, apple cider, apple fruit punch, apples. That's stupid, and that's not what has happening this year, Trixie proclaimed.